So the most commonly asked question I get from new Cricut users is, hey, I just uploaded your file, I went to cut it, but the score lines cut out on a separate mat. Why is that? I'm going to show you why, and I'm also going to show you how to better organize your Dreaming Tree files in Cricut Design Space. So in front of me here, I have our website, and let's say that you just made a purchase. We're going to go into our downloads section, and this is where you'll see all of your downloads. You can download them at any time. You just have to log in and go under My Account and Downloads. And once you're there, you can click on this little blue box here, the button, to download any of your files that you've purchased, whether they're the free ones or the paid ones. So I'm just going to pick one. Let's do the dogwood mantle clock. I'm going to get that downloaded. So I'm on a Mac right now, and as you can see, let's clear this. Actually, let's open this up and show it in the Finder. So here are the two files that I downloaded. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and unzip these. Your Mac may already unzip them. If you're on a PC, you will likely have to unzip your files. I do have a separate video for how to unzip, and these files are now ready. So what we're going to do, so now that we're in Design Space, I'm going to upload just one image right now. This is the first part of the tutorial where I'm going to show you the solution to the most commonly asked question. And let's open up probably this one here. Okay, that's a good one. So let's go ahead and save that. Okay, so you'll notice that when we bring this in, and this is something that you want to pay attention to, when you are working with our files, you want to look for files that have score marks. As you can see, these score marks indicate where things are going to be folded. Now, let's just pretend that we have all the files necessary to create this project already in here, and we're going to hit Make It. You'll notice what happens. On one mat, you have the score lines, and on the other mat, you have the actual cut. This is incorrect. You don't want that. I believe that sometimes when you're new to our website and you try to do this, you're assuming that what you do is you feed the mat in twice, but typically what happens is that these lines won't just spontaneously align with the actual cut. It just won't. Cricut Design Space has a little algorithm, or the programming is set up so that it maximizes your, the space on your cardstock so that you don't waste any. So it always brings it up and to the left as far as it can go, and that we don't want that. So if you ever hit Make It and see a score line on a separate mat by itself like that, you want to cancel immediately, go back and check your files to see which one was not attached. And that is the key here. So let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see more of this file. Attaching is required when you want a cut to cut with the score marks all in one fell swoop. So let me show you here. If you highlight it, you can click on it here, or you'll notice here on the right-hand side under the Layers section, the name of this file is main1 olive. And if you hide the layers, you'll see what each layer is. This little eyeball here under the Layers section will allow you to hide or show the different layers. Now think about layers just as if they were layers. They're layers. They're on top of each other, like layers on a cake or layers in a lasagna. One layer sits on top of the other, but as you can see here, main1 olive is a group. And this group, because it's called a group because it has more than one layer, but it's grouped together. They're not separate layers. Now, just to illustrate my point here, if you right click and ungroup, it takes the two layers over here and it separates them. This is no longer a group because they're individual layers. In order to have a group, you need more than one layer together. So now, again, anytime you have a file, just want to scan your screen and make sure you click on it and hit attach. Attach is going to tell Design Space that, hey, Design Space, these two layers, I don't want you to separate them when I hit make it. I want you to keep them intact and I want you to cut them together in the place that they are arranged already. I don't want you to move things around. So after we attach the file, when we hit make it, you'll see here that those score lines are no longer on a separate layer. They are on one mat and they're gonna cut correctly in the place that they were designed to be. Okay, so that is what you want to do. You want to attach any file that contains a score mark. That's the most commonly asked question that I get from Cricut users, and I hope that that clears it up for you. Now, as an added bonus, I wanted to go over just a little process that's going to help you keep our Dreaming Tree files more organized in your Design Space. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that when Design Space was upgraded from the current version it is now, or to the current version that it is now from the previous version, some of the files that people saved did not come through correctly. There were errors. Sometimes you would get an error if you tried to make it. So I would do this at your own risk. I'm not sure if they ever upgrade it, if going through all this is actually going to stand the test of time. I can't guarantee it, but I am going to show you how to do it. So, for example, you're just on our website, and we're going to just use this as an example. I'm going to show you the dogwood mantle clock. Okay, this is one of our projects here, and it's a clock. You have to get a mechanism for it, but you can make this. And what we're going to do is we're going to import all of the files required to make this into Design Space. And then we're going to save it as one convenient file should you ever want to go back and recut it. Okay, so first things first, obviously you need to download your file, and then you also need to make sure that you unzip it. Okay, and actually this may be a good time just to explain unzipping. Typically when I get a phone call from somebody that needs help with this, I will use a few metaphors to help them understand zipping. Okay, so great way to illustrate this. And it's going to look a little bit different on your PC if you're running Windows than it is on Mac, but the concepts are exactly the same. So one thing that I always tell people is I ask them, when you go on vacation, when you pack up your clothes, do you just kind of sling them over your shoulder and then board the plane? The answer is no. And typically I ask them, well, what do you do? And they say, well, I put them in a suitcase. Okay, so a zip file is just like a suitcase that you would take on vacation with you. Rather than just having a bunch of clothes over your shoulder, you want to take everything and neatly package it into a suitcase so that you can carry it around in just one object, okay? That is what a zip file is. A zip file is a nice way to keep files organized so that you don't have to, for example, with the dogwood mantle clock, let's take a look here. In the SVG folder, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, there's at least 12 files, okay? Now, rather than having you click download 12 times on our website, you only have to do it once, and you get the zip file, which is the briefcase or the suitcase that has everything neatly arranged inside of it. When you get to your destination, when you get off the plane and get to your hotel, in order to access your clothing or your toothpaste or whatever it is, you need to unzip your suitcase. Okay, same thing applies to these files, especially when they come in zip format. So whether you're on a PC or a Mac, if you see a file and it has a little zipper on it, that means that it is zipped. You cannot access things inside that zip file without opening the zipper and uncompressing or unzipping, or extracting is another word, that zip file. So with that said, we have the file unzipped. We're going to go into Design Space and upload all the files for the dogwood mantle clock. And I'm going to go into my downloads folder. Here is, you can see the difference on a Mac on what a zip file is and what a unzipped file is. And actually, you can see over here on the right-hand side, it says zip archive. you're going to see the same thing on a PC. It will say zip, zip file, zip archive. Now you know it's unzipped because it looks like a regular folder, and it even says folder. Okay, so we're going to open up Dogwood Mantle, and inside there we're going to open up SVG. And typically what I'll do is I'm going to arrange this alphabetically, and that looks, yep. So just start from the top and select the first one. There it is. I'm going to hit save, and just remember that first one. It's the red one. And then just hit upload again. Go to the next one, flowers shrimp, and hit save. Go to the next one, browse leaves olive, save. Go to the next one, and main one chocolate, save. And go to the next one. So you're going to continue and repeat this process until you have all the files necessary in that folder. So we just did main 2, now we're doing main 3. We'll save that. And then we're going to go to main 4 and save. And we're going to go to main 5, and that just leaves a few more. So regardless of how many files there are, it's a pretty quick process, okay? And I'm going to show you how you can do it once and not have to worry about doing it again. Okay, so we got 3 left. This is vanilla. And by the way, our naming convention here, you'll see elements, red pattern, shrimp, olive, chocolate, black, vanilla. Those are all the names of the colors that we used for that specific portion of the project. So if you use American Crafts cardstock, you'll notice that these names actually are the names of the actual colors of American cardstock. Okay, so now that we've got them all uploaded, we can select them like this by just clicking here. Let's just make sure we get all of them. The red one was the first one that we did. Just had to remember that. We're going to insert. Okay. And my plugin crashed. And let's see if we can just keep working on this. Okay, well, I just had a plugin error, and that's okay. We're just going to keep on trucking along here. We're going to try this one more time, and we're going to import these again. There we go. Insert. Let's hope it doesn't crash again. There we go. Okay, so we have all of our files here. Now remember what we talked about as far as attaching goes. One quick way to do this, you can do it this way. You can just take each piece and just kind of move it over to the side, see if you can identify any score lines. And actually one thing you can do without having to even look for score lines is when you highlight one of the individual pieces, take a look down at the bottom here to see if attach is available. If it's not available when you click on one individual section, then chances are they don't have score lines and you don't need to attach anything. Okay, so I'm grabbing this one, I'm moving it out of the way, and I have it highlighted, and attach is not available. I'm going to grab this piece here and just move it over here, and I have it highlighted, and guess what? Attach is available. I'm going to hit attach. It is now attached, and you can see that that had score marks on it. Okay, so let's grab this piece here, and I can immediately tell that there are score lines here, and as you can see, attach is available. So I click attach, it's attached. Now take this piece, it's highlighted, I do not see attach available, I'm just going to move it over. And this piece here, I do not see the attach button available. I can clearly see that there are no score marks, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. This piece here, attach, is not available. I'm going to move it out of the way, it does not need to be attached. This piece clearly does not have any score marks. Do not need to attach that. The little flowers, do not need to attach those. And this, clearly, I can see score marks here. I am going to attach that by clicking the attach button on the bottom there and move that over to the side. And here is another one with score marks. I'm going to hit attach, get that out of the way. And this one here, I do not see any score marks. And to confirm that, when I have it highlighted, attach is not available for me to hit. So we've gone through all of them. We've attached everything. Now, what we can do is we can hit save, and I'm going to call it Dogwood Clock and hit save. Okay, so we're saving, it's saving the project. All the files are there. Everything's attached. It's ready to go. Now, one other cool thing that you can do, let's go under projects now, and I'm going to change this to my projects. Let me get rid of this. I'm very OCD. I don't like weird stuff like that. Okay, so here's our project. Now, if you click on these three little dots here, you can hit edit, and check this out. You can actually add a photo, okay? And you can just put in the description. And this is from Dreaming Tree. You can add notes there about what kind of paper you used or whatever you want. So now I'm going to hit the plus sign next to photo, and I'm going to go back into my downloads. In the main folder for the Dogwood Mantle Clock, we also include a photo. It's the JPEG file. JPEGs are photo files. Double click on that, and now it adds a photo to it. You can kind of adjust it however you want. I kind of maybe like it there. And I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now, once we hit save, I can close that. And now check that out. Under your projects, if you go under your projects and go under my projects, you have the Dogwood Clock. And if you click on it, I can click make it. And remember, everything's already there. Everything's attached, and it's ready to cut. I'm not sure why I'm getting plugin errors, but hopefully this time it'll work. And there it is. Okay, now if we take a look at all the mats here, because we attached everything, you can see that the score lines are intact, and it is ready to cut. The process of importing even our most complex files that may contain 6, 7, a dozen SVG files, it's not that bad. Once you get into the swing of it, maybe a minute. And then again, you have the option to save the file so that you can access it again in the future. So hopefully you learned a little bit about your Cricut and Design Space today. If you did, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. If you have any other questions or have any suggestions for future videos, please visit the site 3dsvg.com and use the contact form to contact us. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I look forward to crafting with you again.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.